Beautiful. Getting ready here to go live and start the recording. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the Awakened Soul podcast. I'm Kristen Bielecki, your host, an awakening soul embodiment guide. And today we're going to be exploring relaxing into your path, embodying acceptance, patience, and trust. So, what is what is relaxing into your path? Yes, thank you, Lynn. I'm glad you're here with us. Appreciate you and everyone else who is listening. Really appreciate you showing up. It really co-creates a wonderful field of energy when we get to be here live. I really love it. So let's dive into this experience of relaxing into your path. So what does that really mean? So when you notice that you're on your path and you're starting your work, today I'm here to remind you that you are your path. So a lot of times when we have visions or we're beginning our awakening experience, we oftentimes get really confused or flustered. Sometimes there's a lot of disruption, of change that shows up in life around what our path is, right? What the awakening is, what we're actually experiencing, what our path is in life, what that journey is. And what's amazing about the experience more than anything that I have found through my several years of my awakening, my own awakening, is that our path, our awakening is all about us. And this is a big shift. This is a big shift in perception because we have been taught so much to put ourselves in the outside focus, the outward focus, right? Of what we have to do, who we have to be, how we have to show up, right? And and this is like and that's the amazing mystical aspect of our awakening is recognizing that we're seeing everything backwards. We're experiencing everything upside down, right? And when we go through our awakening, what happens is we go through this process of seeing everything for what it truly is, seeing everything for what it truly is. And the veils drop and we go through our inner work and we do all those things. And so relaxing into your path is all about recognizing it's all about me. In the most beautiful of ways, not a selfish way, the idea of, oh, but wait, I gotta show up, to help change the world. Well, what if you are the focus first? You are the focus first. What if you get to connect with yourself, know yourself, take time with yourself, be still with yourself or active, however that plays out in your path? And this can be a really challenging perspective. Can be a really challenging perspective because sometimes choosing to connect with ourselves who shows us things. We have to confront the parts of ourselves that we may not like, or look at the things that we've chosen in our life that didn't feel wholesome or connected or aligned. There's pain, there's hurt, there's shame, there's guilt, there's all of those things that arise. And we are learning through this experience that we matter, that we matter. This body, this life, this, our soul, your body, your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, your experiences, your sensory perceptions, all of you matters. And when we begin to connect into that through the awakening experience, through that awareness of our path, then we can start to go, okay, wait, if this is truly about me learning about myself and growing and becoming something new and different than I have been. And there's a wholeness aspect. Because the other piece that happens along the awakening path too is the black and white. I was this and now I got to be that, right? I am experiencing this and now I got to experience that. And awakening, I've shared this before on actually I think one of my on the first podcast, but it came up to share again is that awakening is not something you achieve, it's a way of life. And if we can sit in the space of recognizing that all that we've experienced, all that we are now, and all that we're going to experience is whole and complete in and of itself of our path that already is. And we can take in that concept deeply. We can take that in deeply and there's no time, we talk about timelines a lot, right? And that can maybe make us feel urgency, like, oh, I gotta get there. I gotta do something. I gotta get this done. I have to achieve this thing, right? Because the world's gonna end and I'm gonna end. And, I was listening to this other podcast, and actually, I think two different podcasts, two different people reiterated this same concept that yes, there are people in the world that get remembered through the ages, right? Mozart, Beethoven, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, whatever. These long, these beings and these experiences, our Egyptian, goddesses and gods, our deities, our rishas, the beings that represent the cosmic function that are a divine orchestration of our reality. We remember them because it's just an inherent function of reality and not necessarily, and there's people that have made big impact on our world. And maybe not all of us are here to be that name that's going to be remembered for the ages, right? For on and on. And if we can accept that, then we can sit back in divine timing and say, listen, what is worth more? Your name being remembered and doing some big thing in the world, or having a quality of life, having a quality of life now that really brings you into that relaxed, regulated state where you can be in yourself to listen, to connect, to have that sense of freedom of perception and do the inner work. Because what is always remembered is you. You and your soul and your oversoul always remember you. And if you make yourself more significant, valuable, meaningful to yourself, not from an egoic standpoint, not from a place of, needing to achieve something or have something, then there's an amazing opportunity to access so much brilliance, so much connection, so much of the truth of who we are through the journey, through the path. And also opens us up to more joy because we're not thinking about all these things that have to be done in the world. And believe me, this has been a huge growth process for myself because our path can be downright grueling sometimes because ooh, the things that we've held inside and maybe the things that we've carried with us from other lifetimes, it's like, whoa, I gotta unwind all of these things. But that's what we're doing. That's what the awakening path is. That's what is most significant about our awakening path, is doing our own inner transformational work. And while, being in life and getting to our truth. Because as I said, you came here to do this for you. And yes, it may ripple out and you may show up just like I'm showing up, to be supportive of the path on, your awakening path or your embodiment path, whatever words you use for your own path and journey in life. And I've had to learn this through the years because I went through my own impatience because we're going to be, tapping into as I go through this whole concept of embodying acceptance and patience and trust because they are huge keys on the path. And the purpose of your awakening is you first. You first. And then as you start to play and connect with yourself, and yes, I use the word play, even though sometimes it's really like, I got to sit with myself and I got to sit with these emotions and thoughts and feelings. And I gotta really focus on these things if I want to move through. And what are you moving through those things for? You're moving through those things for you. You're moving through those things for you so you can be freer, lighter, have more choice, have more connection to yourself, and really have more of a ability to adjust and navigate this reality where we're not carrying so much. And we talk about weight, when we do our shadow work, it can be heavy, it can be a burden, like the traumas that we experience, the things that we're holding about ourself, about others, our family, our siblings, our friends, our other, people in our lives through the conditioning and programs. And so you're doing it for you. And then, yes, it ripples out into the collective. So by being in this connection and relaxing into your path, and so by relaxing into it, what I'm meaning is relaxing into your body, going, wow, what do I need? What care, what love, what connection can I give to myself? That's going to be feel wholesome. And that can be a foreign concept for some people because that's not something that we're really taught to do in life. We're taught to take care of other people. We're taught to, kind of relinquish. We've relinquished our sense of self. We've relinquished our power. We've relinquished our our sense of, connection to even our own bodies and what we're feeling on a physical level and an emotional level. There's been a lot of we've been taught to basically disassociate from ourself. And so by saying, okay, I'm going to relax into myself, whew, that can bring up some edges. And what better gift to yourself? What better gift? And I have found that for myself. What better gift to myself than to relax into my body and recognize that if we're on this path, if we're being called to open, if we're feeling that call by maybe guides or visions, dreams, or just that inner knowing that, ooh, I want to shift this old idea of myself or these, these traumas or woundings or hurts, pains, whatever they are, then that's a message to you that you are remembering yourself. You're calling yourself home to yourself underneath all of those things. And yes, it takes, it's been years for myself, and I know many of you here have also been on this path for quite a while too. And it's a never-ending path, right? Like as I was saying, it's a way of life. It's a way of life. So what daily experiences are you allowing yourself that gives yourself the opportunity to relax? What gives yourself the opportunity to relax into life, into you, and recognizing the incredible power of you, the incredible power of you. So, just taking a moment to remember in this moment that yes, that you gave to yourself to be on your true path, to start your healing or your transformation or knowing yourself. And as you remember that yes, just saying yes again, saying yes again. Yes to me, yes to you. And on this path, what we do is we say yes over and over and over again. Because we are going to have those moments where life does not feel relaxing. We may have physical things that show up. We may have, you know, like challenging relationships. We may have, the car broke down, or, there's not enough money, or different, all the different things that arise in life. Or, ooh, this old memory showed up, and whoa, I'm gonna work with that. Right? And it doesn't feel relaxing. And so I'm not saying that we're relaxed all the time. What I'm saying is that we have decided that on a daily basis, on a moment to moment basis, we're going to remember the breath. We're going to remember our body. We're going to remember that we're in life right now. And this life is your life. Nobody else's. This life is your life. And as we do this more and more, we can have more place for compassion, more place for forgiveness, more welcoming the ideas. Because sometimes, as I said, this can be foreign to some people to be like, oh, wow, I'm going to take care of myself. What does that even mean? How do I nurture myself? How do I love myself? How do I even go into quiet time with myself? And some of the tools that I like to share with people, and if some of you already may have a well-established meditation practice or some sort of daily practice for yourself that helps you attune, right? We're constantly tuning to this. And if you have a way of doing that and it's a good foundation for you already, awesome. If you are in a space where you feel that you're like, wow, I haven't quite gotten there yet, build up. It's a minute a day. Sit with yourself for a minute a day for 7 days, and then increase it to 2 minutes, and then increase it to 3 minutes, and then increase it so that you're giving yourself that. Or in the morning, say, what today can I do to cultivate more connection with myself? Maybe I just need to drink some more water. Maybe I need to stand outside or go for a short walk and get myself in nature, even if it's for 5 minutes. Maybe I'd like to write or just sit down and read a book and, not think of all the things, like get my mind in a different direction. Whenever these impulsive thoughts come up, or the loop thoughts come up, or the judging thoughts come up, I greet them and say hello, and I'll talk about this more later, and move through that. Acknowledge myself. And so this is the relaxing into your path is all about acknowledging yourself. I'm here. This is, I'm right here. I'm not there anymore. I'm not in the future anymore. I'm not in the past. I'm right here, right now. So what am I going to do for myself in this moment? What am I going to presence for myself in this moment? And that starts to cultivate a relationship. That starts to cultivate a relationship. And we're all going to experience that differently. So I was talking with one of the people in my mentorships mentioned something like I'm not having any awakening symptoms, or I'm not, but they're an incredible path and doing powerful inner work. And so just remembering that we're all going to experience our path differently. We may not have the quote unquote awakening symptoms on these levels. We may not be experiencing it the way that somebody else is. We may not be having these dreams or visions, and that's okay. What if this is where, we get into the piece of acceptance? What if we accept what is? And the way we do that first is by acknowledging what is. Acknowledging what is. I'm here, I'm now. That has been my life. This is my life now. And yes, maybe I would like some more of these things, as life progresses, maybe more peace in my heart and mind, maybe more money or different relationship or whatever it is, that's okay. That's okay. If we're consistently focusing on that future, we're pulling our energy away from the frequency, from the energy, from what's needed right here in this moment to support those things from being alive in our life, for us to be alive with them, right? And so we need to bring them alive here in this moment. And the first way to do that is acknowledge the self consistently. If you're with me a lot and we do those meditations and we begin the meditations, what do I say? Breathe and say hello to yourself. How often do we stop just looking out and projecting forward and take that moment into stillness and acknowledge ourself? Give ourselves the moment of presence. Be present. And that's relaxing into our path as well. And notice I didn't say onto our path, right? Because that's an external experience. I've got to be on my path. I've got to be doing my work in the world. I've got to be doing this, having that, whatever it is. Instead, let's say I'm relaxing into my path. I'm relaxing into me. I'm relaxing into myself. I'm relaxing into my body. I'm relaxing into my soul. I'm relaxing into this energy body that is around me, that is me. I'm relaxing into these ideas and feelings that are coming up. Because if you find yourself, if you're, tense in life, and you're like, God, moving around and you're wanting to this and that, remember, wow, what if I just relax into my body? What if I just relax into this moment? Or take a breath into this moment, because sometimes relaxation can be foreign too, right? So the first step is to go, all right, I'm just going to take a moment, take a pause, acknowledge myself, take a few breaths, and invite presence. Invite presence into this moment. And then just notice what that does for your system. I'm going to acknowledge this moment. I'm going to acknowledge that I'm sitting here in this chair. I'm speaking with you. I'm connecting with you through this computer screen and, with these things around me in my environment. I'm noticing that my feet are a little chilly. I'm noticing that I feel light in my body in this moment. So when we can do that, when we acknowledge our present experience and we bring ourselves to our senses, we bring ourselves to our body, and we're acknowledging these experiences, then the body's like, okay, right, we're here. We're here. And then there can be an automatic starting of the system to relax because it's not on edge to do this, or the mind's not, you've basically broken the cycle of the loop thoughts by bringing yourself to your present moment. And so that's a practice you can do throughout your day. When you wake up in the morning, presence with yourself. Throughout the day when you're moving around and maybe you're finding yourself, walking like a robot because you're going from one thing to the next, right? Or or you're finding yourself being impatient. We'll get to that, right? Or you're finding yourself uh, looping about what is or isn't and having judgments. Take a breath, acknowledge them, sit with it, sit with yourself. Sit with yourself. Sitting with yourself and just acknowledging what is present is so powerful without the need to fix it, release it, let it go, do this with it, do that with it. Just acknowledging the moment, acknowledging what's present. And when you can do that, then it creates more space, creates more accessibility to what's there. And then a lot of times realize, oh wow, it's this memory coming up, or oh wow, I just felt irritated by something that this person said, or maybe I just picked up some energy when I was out at the grocery store, right? Instead of it continually impacting you and driving how you're behaving for the rest of your day, and then triggering and kind of creating this like trigger domino effect. Right? So what we do is making that choice upon each breath, upon each waking, upon each moment when we become aware of ourself again through whatever we're doing. Ah, I'm going to acknowledge myself. I'm going to breathe. And then from the more that we choose to acknowledge, the more we can then go, okay, I'm going to accept this moment. Acceptance is so powerful. It is incredibly powerful. And for myself, for many years, I was impatient. I didn't accept life. I didn't accept myself. I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust reality. I didn't trust that I could do anything. Really, I was very self-judging. I hid. I kept myself, small in groups. I kept myself small in, uh, I had so many opportunities before me. And I had this feeling of like, oh, I can't do that. That's not possible. I don't know how to do that. And so I would feel this idea, this split in myself that I couldn't trust myself to learn something. I couldn't trust myself to take a risk. I couldn't trust myself to be vulnerable in front of people. Because if I didn't know how to do it, then I was just going to be embarrassed. I was going to be judged. I was going to be rejected. I was going to be ridiculed, right? If I didn't know how to do it and I had to learn it. And so it was this crazy process of not being relaxed in myself. I was on edge a lot. And I was on edge with a lot of loop thoughts, constantly thinking about what I didn't have or what I should be doing or what people were thinking about me or how I should move, how I should speak, what's going on. It was pretty intense. Now maybe some of you can relate to that, right? Keep not speaking your truth, not showing up. And of course, that was all this external inner relationship stuff. And it wasn't until I was like, oh, I can't live like this anymore. And I know maybe some of you have had that experience too, but I can't hold all this energy anymore. It doesn't feel good. I'm tense. I'm, fearful of life. I would still do all kinds of wild things because I'm pretty, I've always been a wild child. But and being a wild child, I still had all that going on. People had no idea, we don't know what's going on inside of each other. The intensity. We may show up a certain way, or people may see us a certain way. I was traveling a lot. I was doing all kinds of things that I wanted to do, but in those experience of doing those things, I was highly uncomfortable with myself. And so now, through these experiences of my awakening that really came on strong in 2013, and I'd been going through many processes up to 2013, and I was so impatient because I could feel something wanted to break open in my body, and new things wanted to come through, and new ways of beings wanted to happen. And I was so impatient. I'm like, why isn't it happening? What's wrong with me? Why, what's happening here? And so when I finally, and people would say, just be patient. I'm like, what's patience? What does that mean? I want it now. And so as I've been, and then when my real awakening, when Metatron came to me in 2013 and said, do you want to assist in supporting and creating the new earth? It was like, absolutely 100% yes, let's go. Right. And I've been, and I still have my moments of that, but this piece of step by step, moment by moment. What's the first thing? Connect with self. Connect with self. Accept self. Accept that life has been the way it's been. Accept what it is now, because that will create such a strong foundation for the inner work, for the frequency shift, for the embodiment of the things that we're feeling inside that want to come up, that want to come through, right? So acceptance opens up this incredible opportunity to have more choice. And same with relaxing into your path. This is regulation. What we're learning is that our nerve system, and I know we've been on edge a lot in this reality, and we're on edge when our awakening, we're on edge when we're in our shadow work, we're on edge when, you know, like life can just be an uncomfortable process. But what it does when we choose to relax into our path, it increases our capacity. When we say yes to our path, when we say yes to ourself, which is that inward journey, when we say yes to that inward path, then the whole system shows up. Our whole system can show up because it heard the yes. Our soul heard our yes. Our subconscious heard our yes. Our everything heard our yes. So, guess what starts to happen? The inner guidance, guides, intuition, listening, in whatever form that is for you, it's going to be different, right? So, it may show up differently for you. You may have guides or visions or dreams or just synchronicities that start to happen in life. You may start to, deepen the capacity to listen more to yourself or listen and have more perception of what's going around you. And so, this acceptance, when we choose that acknowledgement and choosing the relaxing into path, and we continue to accept over and over and over again, it is a deep practice. It is not a one off experience. And I feel that, on this journey, so many times, people think that I'm going to get there and, these things are going to happen. It's just going to be that one experience. It's not a one-off experience. It is an over and over and over again process of self-connection, of acceptance of the moment, acceptance of the past, acceptance of ourself, of ourself and the choices we made or the experiences we've had. And when we accept the whatever it is that you're choosing to accept about yourself or your life, what happens is a whole space opens up that gives you more perception of what actually is there and what actually occurred. There's more capacity for perception, to see, to feel, to learn, to grow, to have compassion, to have choice, and to shift from maybe victimhood or less than, or to shift from these experiences. And when we fully accept experiences, that's where the deeper work and the deeper transformation starts to happen. And that's when we start to have to learn how to have patience as well. Because, as I said, it's not a one off, because it's layer upon layer through life as things show up, especially when maybe continual patterns show up or continual thoughts show up. But we can just say, hello, thought, hello, experience, hi again. I accept this part of me that wants to see reality this way or experience reality this way. Whew. What can we do together? What can we do together? And this is where you take your consciousness, your awareness, your focus, your concentration, and direct it, right? And direct it into, there's multiple different aspects of us playing out at once. There's the part of us that's whole and full and complete. And then there's the part of us that wants to fragment life. And then there's the part of us that, may want to judge life. There's the part of us that wants to feel the love and the connection to life, right? And there's like all of these things happening all at once. So when we can come into the acceptance of that and then have patience with ourself, have patience with ourself, that, whew, this might take some practice. This might take some, sessions with somebody. This may take some learning a new way of thought. This may take some effort on my part to redirect my thoughts, to redirect my actions, to redirect and keep coming back to myself. And one of the most powerful things that I have found for that as well is coming back to center and stillness. And this is why I love to lead, and this is what I do in my own life, and that's why I lead all our meditations that we do together to that relaxed space, to the center of our being. Because that's where that fluidity of life is constantly happening, whether we recognize it or not. And yeah, we may have to work through different blocks in different parts of our system where energy may be stuck or stagnant within the center channel of our body, but it is there. It is there. It's an inherent part of ourselves that is present. And the more that we learn that I'm right here, you're right here, and taking that moment, just remember, I'm right here. Yes, all those things are going on, but I'm also right here. The wholeness of myself is right here with me. And that is a challenging concept too at first, right? Because it's like, wow, how come I don't feel that? I don't feel connected. I don't have that. It's like, well, what if you chose to say yes to it, whether or not you experience or feel it? What if you took that leap and just said, okay, regardless of how I'm feeling right now, I know there's this greater aspect of myself because I can feel it in some way. It's calling me. That's why I'm doing my inner work. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why I'm showing up to these meditations. That's why I'm showing up to this podcast right now because it is within me and it's around me already. And when we relax into our path and we remember that our path is us, it's all about us. It's all about who we are. It's all about what wants to come through in this life, in this life in particular, through our soul, through this perception, through this experience. Then let's have some patience with ourselves because we may have experienced some really challenging things in life. We may have experienced some really challenging things through our soul incarnations and whatever timeline dimension, whatever that we may be being impacted by because of the whole, our oversoul expression and how we're interconnected with ourselves through space and, experience. So in that experience, what if we shift to, again, my path is my quality of life. And we may say, well, what if my quality of life isn't the way I want it right now? Then what little thing each day can you accept and then adjust? So instead of thinking again in that black and white space of I'm here and I got to get there, that you're consistently on your path, right? We don't just, if we could, that'd be great, teletransport or just snap our fingers and be like, I was thinking this and my life was that and now it's this. It's like we're always in a change. We're always in a transition. We're always in movement. And if we're always in movement and we can accept what is, then I have a choice right now. And that builds strength over time to then go into patience with then we're going, wow, what if I open to the timing? What if I open to that idea that I don't have my blinders on anymore to I'm just here and I got to get there and I want to block out the rest of reality because I don't like it, whatever, that we're not pushing, forcing, resisting, that we're just like, I'm just going to be here in this moment. Work through with the breath, work through with the presence, the acknowledging, and then go, what's available? What's available? Would I rather have a quality of life or would I rather sit here and think all these thoughts or have all these feelings? What can I do with them? I want to sit here with them, acknowledge them, acceptance, give myself the grace of patience, connect with myself, give yourself permission. Give yourself that place of depth, of presence, to relax into the moment, or just to take a breath into the moment, feel your body, come back to your senses. Right? Have choice. And then this is where we start to cultivate the trust in ourselves. This is where we choose trust. We choose trust that, okay, if I can step into my path, if I can step into this because it's been calling me, then something is supporting me other than, the brain that thinks it's got to drive everything, or the ego, the identity that's got to drive everything. There's something greater that's supporting me. or there's something more whole and divine or sacred that's supporting whatever word supports you the most, whatever concept or frequency supports you the most in that. Because, something greater than that could bring us out of ourselves, and there's something outside of ourselves, right? That's doing these things. And so, really, it's coming into ourselves and saying, wow, there's this part of me, again, as we spoke earlier, to bring me into this, to bring me through this, to bring me through this. So, if I can continually say yes to relaxing onto my path, being with myself, being present with whatever shows up, and then having the patience with myself, and then trusting, we always say, trust the process, right? Because it's a process, it's a journey, it is an ongoing experience, that there is something within me that knows this new experience, that knows the truth underneath the thoughts and experiences that I've had in life of who I truly am. And starting to cultivate that trust. And it's a big one. It's a big one because, maybe lost trust in ourselves because of choices we've made that haven't felt good. I've gone through that as well. Like, woo, yeah, maybe I got to sit with that and really look at why I made that choice and what that created for me and all the ins and outs of it. And then going, okay, well, what's here for me? If I made that choice, then what's here for me to notice and know about myself? Trusting that something is there for you in it. And that's where all the learning and the growth and the transformation comes in. When we can really sit with ourselves and say, okay, I can see the purpose in why, maybe I've been carrying this pattern through my life from things I experienced or things that were said to me or things that I witnessed in my environment. And can I accept that? See, it's a continual, it's a whole new cycle of process that we can get into. Maybe rather than discomfort and judgment and challenge and then looping around in that, we can say, okay, can I relax into this? Can I connect into this? Can I acknowledge myself and life and these things and then accept and then have patience with myself as I'm understanding it, as I'm understanding it, as I'm looking at all the parts and pieces of myself in my life, and then trusting that there is possibility, there's potential, there's probability through this inner work, through this process of connecting with myself and choosing relaxation, choosing that change will happen. Change is happening. And creating and moving into that cycle, into that experience, and cultivating that space of presence, that space of experience. And what's really profound about that is, again, that's what will start to open up the inner guidance. And then that's where we get to go, okay, something new is speaking to me. Is that the true voice? And if you know it's something different than what has been, and this is where also you can gain guidance from others too, to understand intuition, to get in touch with your own voice. And also, again, coming into your own path and going, I'm open to how I receive. I'm opening to how I perceive and experience my inner guidance. Because it's not going to be the same as somebody else's. I mean, we may have, there's all the clairs and there's all the different ways that we have our higher senses, right? And there's going to be a way that you receive. And so this is where we start to go into our path, into ourself, and start to open up to what is present for ourself. What is present for us? What is present for you? What's present for me? How is it showing up? Where do I feel it in my body? Where am I noticing it in my reality around me? What's being reflected to me? Or what did I just watch or hear or listen and that word popped out and or that concept and it lit something up inside of me and then boom, it keeps happening, right? There's this opportunity to sit with that first before you take action on it and go, ooh, how does that feel? What is it speaking to me? What do I need to take in from that? And that's relaxing, that's slowing down, that regulating with it, being present with it. And if you notice, the more you relax into the moment and into your process and into your experience, then guess what happens? Your system just will relax automatically. It's that whole shifting from, the sympathetic to the parasympathetic. When we're constantly driving and wanting to achieve or do something, then, we're in that survival mode. I got to get this done. I've got to experience this. I've got to show up in some way. It's like, whew, what if right now showing up is actually, again, showing up for yourself first? That is the magic of life. That is the magic of life. And sometimes we're doing it simultaneously. Well, we have families, we have jobs, we have all of these things. And there's this, concept of, I don't have time to process things fully. I don't have time to sit. And it's like, well, what if you create that space? What if that's your choice? So today I'm going to take the 5 minutes to write out the thoughts that just keep looping in my head just to get them out of my head. What if I sit with myself for a minute? I put the timer on and I just sit and I breathe. Right? What if I choose to give myself the opportunity to just be present in this moment? What if I choose that? And start to notice how life starts to shift for you. Because again, we're talking about quality of life, not a quantity of life of what you're achieving or what's getting done in the world around you. And yes, those are a part of it because you might feel that, wow, that inspire, what we've called inspired action, that heart-led action or that vision. You're like, whoo, I want to start taking action on that. Great. Then sit with it, feel it, know it, feel that frequency, and then do it and invite the rest of life to come along with you. And the things that don't serve you anymore to stay where they need to be. Shift out of your reality. And recognize the path will, as you keep saying yes to yourself and your path, whatever that is for you in this moment, life orchestrates itself. And then as we notice different things, we may notice, okay, well, maybe I'm not quite, bringing forth the energetics or the people or the experiences as I'm saying yes, quite to match what I really see or what I really feel. And that's where again we have the acceptance and the patience going, what's here for me in these interactions and these people or these things? Where still maybe do I need to reflect on thoughts I'm having or patterns I may be still carrying in my energy body? And maybe I need some support and get some other eyes on it for me, and have a session or mentorships with people that support you through the experience. I've had my own mentors and teachers and along the way and have appreciated another set of eyes on or heart or intuition guidance along the way to support what's there to get us through. And what better gift to yourself again to relax into yourself, to relax into your body, to relax into presence, to relax into the moment and embodying these things. And it takes the practice to embody. It takes the practice, but it always takes that first choice, that first moment. And it is a choice. This is where you talk to yourself, you sit with yourself. You're like, okay, what if I choose to accept? What if I choose to be patient? What if I choose to trust? What's possible here for me in that? What if I choose to relax and remember that my awakening, my path, my embodiment process is about me? I'm embodying me. What if I take the moments throughout the day to acknowledge myself and come into my senses and come into my awareness and open up that space of presence for myself? What's possible through that? What could happen through that? What if I remember to bring myself back to center and take some moments and breathe and feel my feet and feel my body and breathe myself back into the center, connect with source, connect with the earth, connect with the center channel of your body. Do some hygiene practices, energetic hygiene practices, releasing cords, welcoming your energy back to yourself, creating, you're creating your light bubble, creating your space. And this is what this is about, is relaxing into your path, is creating your space. Yes. You creating your space. And as you create your space, you're creating life. You're allowing the unfolding from within. So this is the opportunity. So just taking a moment and breathing in and tuning into what feels most aligned for you. And start with one, right? Don't think that maybe all of them have to happen at once. If you already go, wow, yeah, I can accept things. Maybe I need to work on patience. Maybe I need to work on trust. Maybe I need to work on slowing down and just relaxing. Maybe I even need to just take a moment to even process this concept that my awakening is about me, not about this service in the world or this work in the world, my offerings in the world. Because as I said, the more you connect to yourself, the more those things will start to emerge. And how powerful it is that you as a being of presence on this planet, by choosing the frequency of relaxing into your path and choosing you through your process and experience, then that creates an energy, an energetic that recognizes you as showing up in the world. Maybe you don't have that recognition from family or people around you yet, because it's a different, you're emitting a different frequency than other people are used to, or connect with themselves. And that's where that acceptance and patience and trust comes in. Because yes, sometimes we have to shift friend groups, or we shift our relationships with family, we shift our relationships with our partners, or however it is. That's where that depth of relaxing into yourself can bring the strength to make the choices that are the most aligned and coherent and feel the best for you. And that's what we're here for our soul growth. As this human in a body and having these experiences. And so just, yeah, it's today taking a moment to tune in. What can I start to cultivate for myself first? What is the starting point for me? Maybe I'm just going to open to my breath, slowing down today, noticing how I'm moving through the day. Am I tense? Am I having looping thoughts? Am I projecting into the future or the past? Where's my presence? Or today, maybe I'm going to choose to be more patient with myself. Maybe there's something that I'm working with and I really need to bring more acknowledgement and acceptance around it, so that I can move with it and through it, so I can have a breakthrough or a change or an experience. So how is this landing for you? You can write in chat on YouTube or on Zoom, just bringing forth what's present. Is life It's interesting to bring our life into our own hands again, into our own hearts again, into our own minds again. That it's not up to anybody or anything else around us. And in the past, the big sayings where it's up to me, if it's got to be, it's up to me, or change your mind, change your life, all those the sayings that were really prevalent, for me in part of my shift and changes in my 20s and 30s. And what it's helped me do, and even my awakening path, and I'm still just to be very clear, is I'm still going through my growth processes. I'm still going through the capacity to accept certain things or be patient in certain moments. But what this awakening experience has taught me over the years of going through it myself and then connecting with others through our groups, our group courses, and our the mentorships and the sessions that I offer, is this great profound awareness of what we experience in our own individual path and how we each individually can fine tune our awareness and connection to ourself through it, to have that self awareness, to have that growth, to have what's true and present individually, to support the movement, to support the movement and connecting and moving into the body, moving into presence, moving into the self. Yeah, I love it. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you. Yeah. It's a it's the game of life. It's the play of life. And so another experience that you can tune into if you wish to is, how am I outside of myself right now? How am I outside of myself right now? Am I in myself right now? Or am I outside right now? It's a dance. It absolutely is, Lisa. It's complete dance. So am I inside myself or am I outside myself? And you can notice, do I not even feel my body? Have I been doing things that I don't even realize I'm doing? Is my body feeling things that I don't even realize it's feeling, right? Am I sitting in a way that's been uncomfortable, but I didn't notice it because I was, thinking or working or doing things? So the first step is to really start to notice and acknowledge your present space and making that choice over and over and over again. To be present with yourself, to connect with yourself, know yourself, allow. And those other words can come in, surrender and take a moment, take a moment to be. So, so I am so appreciative of all of you being here. And again, from what came through earlier is remembering yourself. Your awakening path is about you first, and saying yes to yourself, saying yes to your path, saying yes to your life, connecting with yourself, and choosing how to move through each day. And each day might be different. You may have different things that show up each day or different processes that want to be had. Maybe today I need to work with acceptance. Tomorrow, wow, maybe patience shows up because I'm feeling impatient. Just that's how day to day, by choosing that relaxing, I'm going to relax into my path. I'm going to remember the wholeness around me. I'm going to remember that there is that part of me, that aspect of me that knows my truth, has the wisdom and the knowing of what I'm experiencing right now, and welcome and meet that part of myself into the experience. Yeah, Kathy, synchronistic and connected with last night dreaming, dancing in the starlight. Ooh, beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. So, taking a deep breath, taking a moment to choose how you're going to move through your day from this moment. How are you going to move through your day from this moment? What really landed with you that you want to carry through in your moment and your breath and your experience of life? Who do you get to be with yourself today? How much of you can you say yes to? How much of you can you allow to be present? What can you relax into today? Deepening your centered connection to allow the wholeness of yourself to embrace you, envelop you, and presence the beauty and the brilliance that you truly are. Yes. So thank you for being present here today with me. I really appreciate you. And I'm excited to be on this new way of being on Zoom and YouTube with you live from the previous way I was doing the podcast. So feel free to join me every first and third Wednesday of the month at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. And of course, as maybe you've seen from the previous podcast, it'll either just be me or have a guest. And so next time, I'm going to have my lovely friend Sue DeMay. We've been connecting recently and just really felt to bring our presence together into the space with you again. And I know some of you really love it when we come together. So we're like uh, sisters in the field, and it's really wonderful. So January 21st, we'll be together here. So you can join us. And if you would like to explore with me more through any sessions, mentorships, know when group events are going to be happening online, you can go to awakensoul.net and check out all the different offerings and connections there. And you can subscribe to the newsletter to receive what is happening in this world as well as energy updates. So, again, I appreciate you. And I'm also going to be formulating a workshop experience and meditation experience on this topic so that we can come together. So stay tuned for that email for when we join together so we can connect into how you get to relax into your path and embody more acceptance, patience, and trust for yourself and your experience. Yeah. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you for this beautiful presentation. It's so simple and easy to accomplish. We'll look at your offerings. I'm new to you. Well, thank you for being here, Heidi. I appreciate your presence and excited that you chose to join with us today. We have a wonderful community of people like Lisa and Kathy who are here with us. And I can't quite see who's on YouTube. I see that you're there, but if you're consistent in our field, thank you so much. We have a beautiful community of people you can join in with, as well as me, Heidi. So thank you. So lots of love to you all. Again, stay tuned. We'll be together again in a couple of weeks, and then I'll be sharing what's coming up in the future. So much love to you all. Be well, take care,